Hello, friends, and I am back to share a little bit of the front end process that sometimes when I'm having a difficult time coming up with ideas or have still want to play with paper, but maybe I don't have photos yet. Maybe I don't feel like actually playing with paper, but I want to try to plan out because maybe I don't have enough time. So I want to share with you a couple of different resources. Many of us know that you can go on the internet pretty much and find lots of sketches out there. A lot of times what I end up doing is when I'm in one of these situations where I am either, I don't have a lot of time to actually physically scrapbook, or I just need to do something different than scrapbook, and I have some time and maybe I want to plan, because sometimes, we just wing it and that's fine too. One of the things that I use, a great resource for this, is page maps. I will have them linked. They have monthly sketches that they put out every single month. Perhaps I look at the month's sketches and I feel like they're not for me. The nice thing about page maps is they have their whole library accessible. So going back several years, so that if say you're looking for fall related, if you're interested in doing some themed scrapbooking, if you look at previous months, so a lot of times what I will do is that if the current month doesn't strike me like something on there, I'll go back in that same time frame and go back the previous year before. Obviously, you can click through and print out as many from any number of months, but that's something that I have been recently doing, so I thought I would share that with you. And these are by Becky Moore. So she is in charge of page maps. The other thing I want to show you is that you're probably maybe not as familiar, but just you may have seen them. Sorry for the smallness. I was trying to just get it all in one sheet. These are some other sketches. They look very similar to the ones from page maps, but they're just, because of the way I printed it, they're just in a little bit smaller scale. But these are from Scrapbook and Cards Today. They also have a full library. The fall ones for 2022 have not yet been released, so I just went back 1 year because I don't remember printing these out. And the nice thing about this is that if you are also a scrapbooker and a card baker, they also have sketches for cards. Okay, so something that is relatively new to me and probably for a lot of people is CSI. CSI is a blog that I've been following for some time, and I will say I will go in and out, and I will look at the creation. There's lots of great talent on their design teams, but this is a little bit different in that it's not sketch related, but you get like a case file. So pretend that I believe every month you get 2 case files to solve. So like you're solving a crime or something to that effect. So it's a little bit of a different twist. So one thing that you may not know about me is that I love listening and watching documentaries and podcasts related to true crime. I have for a very long time. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine, but it's just something that I do. So this is right up my alley. So how you interpret this is the scene. It's called back to school. It gives you a general color scheme, and to solve the case, you investigate the scene and draw inspiration for your layout. You copy the color scheme. You remind you of a story in your photos, and you see a title. Are you inspired by the style or the design or the technique? And then the last one is to steal some details to draw from your stash. So choose one or many inspirations. And then on the blog, which it's relatively small, but you'll see it's called csichallenge.blogspot.com. You can draw your own inspiration from the file, or you can scroll to the bottom where the case file will be, and you find some additional inspiration from there and see some of the design team's takes on the case file. So it's a little bit different, right? So it challenges you in a little bit of different ways. I was recently doing a little bit of a cleanup, and these are the ones that are for the month of September of 2022. You'll see that they also have a due date of 10/4 or whatever it is, whichever month that you're looking at. So if you submit your completed layout, you could actually win, like, I believe it's a gift card. I usually take the inspiration and just go with it. A lot of times I don't share it back with them, but listen, I'm going to try to see if I can get myself together, and maybe I may submit my first one this time around. So why am I looking at this? So I recently, I have been talking on my previous videos prior to this that I am in the process of preparing for a crop, right? So this morning, I took it upon myself to tidy up what I am bringing. Not so much in terms of my kits, but the things that I am purging. So I have set aside and organized, because I was just throwing them willy-nilly into a bag, and it just got to be a little too crazy and things were all over the place. So I just tidied those up a little bit. And then while I was busy tidying, I was watching a friend's video on YouTube to help me, because sometimes those clean with me or straighten up type of videos and helping organize, not just themselves, but they get me motivated. So Scylla, thank you for the inspiration. I watched your video. It's now been probably a couple of weeks since you aired it, but thank you. And it just got me thinking as I was organizing supplies. I came across these papers. So hang on with me. You'll see in a second. I don't own this collection. I don't even remember where I got these, to be honest. Okay, so this paper and this paper is from, let me just organize this a smidge. I don't know where I got these papers, but I got these papers. They were in my stash. Let me just put these aside for a second. So take a look at these. These were they were just sitting in a folder. And I don't know if these perhaps just had been with other fall stuff that I've been playing with lately, and they didn't really go with the collection, so I ended up taking them out. But clearly I didn't put them away anywhere, which is fine. So I was like, hey, I was just looking at this. I'm like, listen, this blue is more blue on here. That's more of like a turquoisey teal. Good enough, right? All of the other colors, even the wood grain is represented. I'm like, I'm not putting this away. And maybe it's just me being lazy, not wanting to put this away or figuring out where to put it away. But I thought, wow, this is a great combination. I'm keeping this out and I'm using it. So just to be fair, this is Simple Stories. It's a paper by Cabin Fever is the name of the collection. And this one is called Roughing It. This one back here is also Cabin Fever, and it's called Nature Hike. But I don't really like this part of it. I really like this with this. And then this other one was also sitting in that folder with a whole bunch of paper I had to put away. It's by Simple Stories. It's called Happy Harvest, and it's called Happy Fall. And this is the B-side. So I may even be able to use like part of this. That would also go. So this one is relatively versatile, as you can see. But the beauty of this is I think I'm going to challenge myself to work with this one. So I don't know if I have any chance, if there's, I don't know if I have photos necessarily. I always keep a stash of printed photos, but I will go through and I will see whether or not I have some photos to go with this, and that will be it. I definitely don't have any embellishments, so I know for sure I'm going to be drawing from my stash for this one. I'm not 100% sure yet about the title, but I may be able to pull from the school themed, and but I will probably do that with the photo. So let's see, inspired by the technique or the design or the style. So I don't know about that one. So yeah, so that's what I was thinking for this case file 394. And then, oh my goodness, I had a paper pad. I don't even know who made it. I think it was a Die Cuts with a View. I can't find it anywhere. I have no idea where it is. I know it's here somewhere. I looked. I probably put it in the wrong section, but I've gone through every single section, and unless I took it apart, which I don't remember if I did, I can't find it, but it would have been perfect for this one. But let me set this one aside. For this case file 395, here's the scene, right? So you see very soft colors, white, what is that? White wood, it's shiplap, is that what it's called? Some shelves. You see touches of green, darker green, lighter green. You see some grays, some darker grays, maybe a pewter. You see very earthy kind of tones, white on white, white flowers. So, and lots of natural wood elements, right? So here it says, to investigate the scene, you must draw your inspiration from the layout. You can copy the color scheme. Does it remind you of a story in your photos? Do you see a title? Are you inspired by the style, design, or technique? Or can you steal some details to draw from your stash? You can choose one or many inspirations. And again, it's the same because it's the same month. It gets released the same month. It has the same timelines. It has the same prompts to look for additional inspiration. So since I couldn't find that paper pad, which I didn't have any embellishments for anyway, I decided to just go into my stash and pull out a collection that has been sitting there pretty much ignored. So I ended up pulling the Simple Stories Spring Farmhouse. Look at this. It couldn't be any more perfect. The greens, not a true white, but an off-white nevertheless. It has the soft, did I already say the soft greens? It does have some pinks, so I'm calling it, I'm calling that one that it's obviously a very neutral type pink. There's some tans in here. There are some bolder blacks in the collection, but I can definitely see that there is some gray in here as well. So I think this is going to be a really interesting take on the case file. So I am actually I'm gonna try to see. I don't think I've ever used. How sad is that? I was so excited for this collection and I have yet to use it. So it's gonna get cracked into for sure, at least for one layout. And I'll get familiarized with the collection because I don't know that I necessarily have a lot of spring photos right now, but that is likely to change. So, and you don't have to be specifically documenting spring. It could just be things. If you look at the embellishments, it talks about living simply, being humble and kind, enjoying today, love grows here. So this is very much home, but just with the color, the softer color scheme, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna be making a page kit. Probably I'm gonna try with just one, and then if I get on a roll, maybe I'll make a couple of them and just kind of keep them intact, and I may bring this back out again. But I thought I would share that with you because I am just trying to get inspired by my own stash. I thought that this was a really good jumping off point. I will have the information for the CSI Challenge blog in the description box. I will try to insert it here as well if you're interested. And check them out. Again, they have a repository full of previous case files just like this in the event that you want to give it a try. So that's it for me for today, guys, and I hope that you'll come back and see what I make with these. Bye for now.